Good afternoon, listeners. Good afternoon. I want to welcome you back to a fulfilled life. My name is Terrence. Normally, I co-host with Philmon. Today is going to be just me. I'm just going to give you guys just a taste of who I am without the second partner in there. Is that okay? Are y'all comfortable? Y'all willing to sit with me for a little bit? Can I be me? All right. So today's subject is going to be called social media versus real life. Boom. I'm sure a lot of you weren't prepared for that. This is actually a real issue. And I just want to give you guys just a little, like I said, a little sample of who I am, where I've been, where I come from, and just my personal views on social media. This is not a lash out. This is not a you're guilty. This is not um, any of those things. This is just me giving you me and my views and the things that I'm working on to become a better man, a better person, just all around better Terrence. Because all life is all about growth. You don't want to continue to do the same things over and over again. You want to, as your age continues, you want to continue to grow. You never want to stay stagnant. You never want to stay in the same position. You always want to keep challenging yourself to aim higher, to get uncomfortable, to just grow. You know, every year, if you look at plants, what do they do according to the season? They bloom, they die, and then they start over again. Okay. Now, human life to me is somewhat of the same thing. We grow and then we kind of stop, get beat up a little bit, get back in the ring, and we continue to grow again. But the lessons that we took from what life gave us when it beat us up a little bit, we use that to become better. So, like I said, these are things that I'm just seeing over the past couple of years, and I'm just trying to break some habits of mine. That's all. That's all. So let's just keep it funky. Okay. So let's just talk about social media. I don't know how old all my listeners are out there. I'm sure I got a lot of different age ranges, and I hope and pray that I get more people from different age ranges. For those of you that are listening, I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. This started out as a project and is really going far. And I'm just thanking God every day that I wake up just to be in this type of position for y'all. Okay, so my very first social media account. I want to say this was back in high school. I had a MySpace account. And this is before all you TikTokers, all you Snapchatters, Instagrammers, Facebookers, Twitters, all that. MySpace, and they actually had other accounts too that were out before mine, but MySpace is where I come from. So MySpace was back when Soldier Boy was cool and B2K and all that. And basically you just created a page. It was like your own personal website and you could edit it. They had all these funky codes like matrix stuff to where it would make your page move in the background. You could have glitter and music and it was just so cool. And it was like that was my own little personal toy that I would play with like when I got out of school. And it was like first I figured out how to change the background. Then I figured out, boom, okay, I can add my pictures on here. What? Then I figured out how to make my pictures like pop out at you. And then I figured out how to, put a matrix background on there and music. And, I started getting more friends and all that. And then after a while, MySpace just wasn't fun anymore because it was just like, okay, I figured out everything. So what's next? Boom, Facebook. Oh, snap. I had Facebook, okay? And I still have Facebook. Please, guys, don't follow me. I don't need all that pressure. I am not popping in any kind of way. But I had Facebook. Facebook, it started out cool. You know what I mean? Like it just, it was a social media account. Everybody could keep in touch with me. I could keep in touch with them. I got family, I got friends, boom, 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 boom. But it just wasn't, it wasn't trending. It wasn't happening for me. So then Twitter. Okay. Twitter. I can talk to regular people, my homies. I can talk to famous people. Maybe they'll retweet me. I can follow their page and see what they're talking about in their life. You know, athletic people, anyone. I could talk to anyone, right? Cool. Boom. Instagram. Bam. Now I can actually comment on their pictures and see their personal life and let people see my personal life. Okay. And so I just got all these social media accounts, and actually I had to deviate, who do I want on which page, because not everybody needs to see like certain versions of who I am, So like the family me and the church me, this is real life, y'all. So the family me and the church me and the positive me, okay, you got Facebook. Then you got Twitter. Twitter is like, that's the street me. You know what I mean? And I still do positive stuff on there too. I don't go on there as much, but that's kind of where the hood's at, to say. you know, you guys are probably laughing, but on the inside, this is probably a general population. Then you got Instagram. Instagram is cool. I don't, none of these pages, let me just say this now. There's nothing reckless on there. These are just versions of me. You know what I mean? But I just, I don't want my personal life, which is my family, on my Instagram. I don't want my personal family on my Twitter. That's just me, you know? Um, so yeah, that's how I did everything. It doesn't mean that I am changing costumes according to these pages, or my name goes from Terrence to Billy Bob. It's nothing like that, guys. Like, don't, to keep it very simple. It's just saying that certain things I would speak about on Facebook that I wouldn't speak about on Instagram. It's just a different crowd. It's just like a stand-up comedian. You can't talk about the same type of jokes around everyone. Certain jokes are meant for certain crowds, just like music. Certain music is meant for different genres, vice versa, et cetera, et cetera. For me, my social media accounts were meant for certain crowds. So, and it started out really good. I haven't had any issues or nothing like that. But let me ask y'all this. On a regular day, how many of us are locked into our phones, looking at social media, paying attention to people that we're probably never even going to see, paying attention to people that we used to know back from high school, things like that? That reality, I'm not going to see these people. I what they're doing with their personal life has no effect on me. But the amount of time consumed on these pages, that's the issue. At least for me. And so basically what I just want to get everybody to understand is that there's still a real life outside of social media. We have to get back to putting our phone down and seeing the world that's in front of us versus the world that's on our phone. It's a big difference. It's a big difference. I started doing this podcast back when, I want to say, COVID at first hit, maybe a couple months after. A lot of people were locked in their houses. Face-to-face contact was a big no-no. We hadn't really discovered a vaccination yet. The world had been shut down in so many different cities, states, and everything. And so basically coming outside wasn't available. Then they created face masks, so people could kind of come out a little bit more, venture out a little bit, but still the norm was to stay in the house. Okay. Then we had the vaccination. Thank God for the vaccination. Now most of the world is vaccinated, so we can come out without our face masks and things like that. But there's still a few of us who have social anxiety because we just don't know. Like me personally, I have a thing against large crowds. I don't want to go places where there's large crowds. I just don't. Like I'm still trying to get back to the feeling of it's safe, not to mention there's been a lot of shootings and things like that, so on and so on. We don't have to get too deep. But for me personally, I just struggle with that. I can't explain what it is, but I am more content with just waking up, going to work, coming home, and doing it again. Like I don't want to go to the club. I don't want to go to a house party. I don't want to do none of those things just because right now I'm just not there yet. Eventually, maybe. And I hope I speak for a lot of people. And if this is you and you're still having some type of social anxiety, it is okay. Please take it one day at a time and do it when you're ready, not when the world is forcing you to. It's your life, it's not theirs. So, what do you do when you're stuck in the house all the time like that? Boom, social media, you know? It's just there. You wake up in the morning, boom, let me see what's going on Instagram. Let me see what's going on around the world. Let me see the news. Let me hear about my famous artists. Are they coming out, or my favorite artists? Are they coming out with any new music? Did they sign this artist? Did they come out with this music video? Oh man, I didn't watch the Hawks game last night. So let me see if they won. Let me see who showed up to the games. Ooh, this is my favorite TV show. Are they coming out with any new episodes? You got everything that any type of information that you're looking for is right there on social media. And let's just take a step back. Let's go through a little thing that I like to call time travel. So before we had cell phones, people used to go by the news. This is how they would find out what's going on in the world. Okay. They would turn on their TV, just like the one in my back, click, and they would watch the news. Some people will watch it more than others. Some people will watch it for 45 minutes, whatever. Before we had the news, people had newspapers. So, and then before newspapers, people would just talk to people. Yo, you heard about Billy Bob? Man, yeah, that's sad what happened to Billy Bob. I know. Well, have a good day. And they were going about their day. Then it just went into a spiral. We watched news. And then that's how they would talk to everybody. Man, I watched the news today. Did you watch it? Yeah, man. And so on and so on. But now it's like you go to the mall, everybody's on their phone. Some people don't even look up when they're walking because they're so on their phone. Go to a restaurant, you see a family of 4, everybody's on their phones. Go to church. And I'm going to be honest, I do this. I go to church and I got a pastor in front of me that's giving me daily vitamins of a word from the Bible, something that was written over 2,000 years ago that's still helping people to this day. And every maybe 2 minutes or so, I'll look at my phone. There's a disconnect here, people. There's a huge disconnect. And we have to get back to being able to put our phone down, because there's a whole world out there. And I guarantee you there's a lot more positive things out here in the world versus on our phone. If we constantly look at our phone every day, it makes it seem like life is hopeless. We base our life based off of what we see on other people. So I don't feel that I am successful because I'm constantly looking at Joe, who's rich and got his fancy cars and all the women and things like that. So I don't feel like my life is as good as his. I see the people out there in the club spending money like that, and I can't afford to spend money, but my bills are paid. So I still feel like I'm not enough. you know Then there's people that have to do the absolute most in order to be trending, you know? So how do we break that? What do we do? For me, and this is new. This is new. This just started and I'm still getting used to it. But today I said, you know what? Let me talk about it. Let me get it off my chest, so I can reach out to someone and maybe they can agree with me. I just logged out of my social media accounts, deleted them all. Didn't want them on my phone. I can tell you this. It's only been a day and a half, and my phone has been quiet. Quiet. But Terrence, what about all the people that you know on your social media account? You got such and such followers, and what about your Facebooks and your family and all that, and your Twitter family and all that? What about all your followers? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I don't know. I don't care. You see, because this is where I say you have to be able to separate your real life from social media. Real life, we live, we breathe, we eat, we sleep, our feelings get hurt, we fall in love, we fall out of love, we have families, we have kids, we get married, things like that. Social media, we wake up, we look at their life, we put the phone back down, and we don't see them anymore. My phone doesn't ring if I'm not on social media. So why does it get all of my attention? Yeah, that's my fault. I totally agree with that. Like I said, this is not I'm not blaming anyone. I'm not forcing anyone. Oh, Jesus told me that. No, it's not that kind of conversation. This is just me being very transparent with all my listeners. I gave social media that much power. So I decided to take a step back. You know, they have this thing called professional TikTokers. Last time I checked, TikTok is like a little dance thing that they do on social media according to songs, or they'll give quotes from movies or whatever, and people will stand in the camera and imitate these. So they have professional people that do this. It's actually a profession now. It's interesting. It's interesting. Okay. They have Instagram models. I'll be 32 in July. There was once a life before social media. I promise you there was a life before social media. Kids would go outside and play. You go to school, you actually learn. You can actually talk to a person face to face. You know, you actually ask a person for their phone number. Now, man, what's your Instagram page? I follow you. There's no more contact. How did we get like this? How did social media get so important for everyday life? Do you think Jesus and all his disciples had social media accounts when they were walking through the deserts and out there saving people? Do you think Adam and Eve had social media accounts? Do you think the word, while it was being written, he was on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram like, hey, I'm letting all my followers know I'm about to come out with this crazy book, y'all. Y'all better read it. It's going to save the world one day. No, it was none of those things. So then, okay, you want to take it another step. Leaders, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman. We could take it a step back. Even when how music has been composed, everything is digital now. There was once a time to where people would go to the studio and use actual instruments to record their music. And it sounded so crispy, so good. You know, there's people still out there that use record players because of that crisp, that sound that you just can't get from digital. I get it. Technology has advanced over the years and is actually helping us in a lot of ways. But we can't let social media decide what's more important. Can't do that. I'm gonna do a project with y'all. So let's see. Very first social media. So the very first social media account looks like was created by Andrew Weinrich in May 1996. And there was a website. That's all I can tell you for right now. So let's look at how many accidents caused by social media since 1996. Well, we'll take it back. Okay, I know that that's a little heavy. So let's just look up car accidents and fatalities due to social media. It's Google. I'm using it. According to the for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, 9 people die every day because of a distracted driver, and much of that distraction is because of social media. These daily deaths totaled up to 3,450 lives lost in 2016. Okay. Now that was then. And that's 2016. Now, how many accidents are caused by texting and driving? Using a cell phone while driving creates enormous potential for deaths and injuries on U.S. roads in 2019. 3,142 people were killed. Now that says texting. But how many of us are using our phone for social media while driving? Guilty. Been at a stoplight. Oh, let me check my Instagram real quick. Or somebody sent me a picture or sent me a message. Let me read this real quick. Oh, green light. Let me turn that off so I can get back on the road. I'm not perfect, but I am real. Like I said, this is not a judgment call. This is just me being honest and just saying that I want better for people in general. There was over 500,000 people that died from COVID in a year alone. We have to make better choices. We have to get back to living our real life. Technology is going to be there. It's going to continue to grow. Somebody's going to come out with the next cool website. Somebody's going to come out with the next cool phone. These famous people that we follow that have tons of money because they're recording artists or models or whatever, they're going to have lived their life. They're going to wake up to their husbands and wives, their kids, and they're going to go through their daily life. We have to figure out how to do the same thing. Everybody has different techniques that might work for them. You might choose to only go on social media at certain times of the day. Put a limit on yourself. You might just need to walk away completely and just get a breath of fresh air. But I want to encourage all my listeners out there to take the proper steps, because these things, these robotic devices that we use so frequently, when we perish, those things will be there. People need people. People don't need phones. People don't need social media accounts. People don't need to be TikTokers. People need people. Iron sharpens iron. Our mission statement at the church that I go to is to invite everyone under our influence a full life in Christ. We are something that is founded based off of connection with other people. How can we connect if we're constantly on our phone? Well, Terrence, this is the only way that I can keep in touch with people. Get their phone number. Tell them to call you. Text someone. Talk to someone. When's the last time you picked up the phone and called someone? Had a real phone conversation? Me and Phil Mom, we talk on the phone all the time. And I promise you, 9 times out of 10, it always goes over an hour long because we have great conversations. We don't text. But I can say that out of all the people on my phone, he's probably one of the very few that I call and actually have an actual conversation with. Everybody else I have to text. Nobody talks to anyone anymore, you know? And for me, that has actually developed a little bit of anxiety. It's actually given me a little bit of a social anxiety, because it's just like, it makes me question, how much do I matter? How important am I? Because if I didn't have social media, who would talk to me? Who would call me? But anyways, guys, like I said, this is not a lash out. This is just something to give everybody something to think about. So, before closing this, I just want to encourage everyone to just give it a try. Just try to find more in regular life versus social media. And if you don't know how to, take the steps. I do understand that we got some hurdles to come over, but I'm here with you guys. I feel the same way that you feel. We all have feelings, we all count, and we all matter. Okay? If there's anyone out there that feels like, well, they're alone or anything like that, leave a comment below and I'll be glad to help give you some insight on that. I just want everybody to keep their head up, stay positive, stay lifted. If you believe in God, keep God first, stay in the word. If not, do whatever gives you positivity. Spread positivity and love all day long. My name is Terrence, and this is Social Media versus Real Life. Thank you.